Hi, I'm Mary from Easygoing English. I help female expats living in the UK to lose their fear of speaking English and gain the language and confidence you need to communicate in everyday life. In this video, I'm going to talk about a common problem that expats have when they arrive in the UK. Maybe you've been learning English for years at school and university, but when you move to the UK, you find it difficult to understand the local people. Why does this happen? There are a number of reasons. The first one is silent letters. Words in spoken English are often pronounced differently to the way they are spelt, and silent letters are very common. For example, the word debt has a silent B. We don't say debt. Instead, the pronunciation is debt. Debt. I have many debts. Number 2, English letters can have more than one sound. Vowels are a good example of this. The A in cake is pronounced differently to the A in cat. I'll have a piece of cake. Where is the cat? Contractions. In spoken English, we often use shorter contracted forms instead of the longer ones. For example, we typically say, I would have helped you, instead of I would have helped you. So it's useful to listen to and recognise those shorter forms. Number 4, connected speech. In spoken English, we connect words together, so it can be difficult to hear when one word ends and another begins. In the following sentence, we don't say turn it on separately. We connect the words together so they sound like turn it on, turn it on. Weak forms. In spoken English, we stress certain words, usually the important ones, and others are unstressed, such as linking words like and or but. These unstressed weak forms have a different pronunciation to their standard form. In the case of and, the weak form is pronounced as un. We don't say black and white. Instead, we say black and white. The photograph is black and white. Regional accents. If you learnt British English at school, you probably learnt Standard English, or Received Pronunciation is another name. This is a neutral way of speaking that newsreaders have. However, this is spoken by a very small minority of the UK. Estimates suggest as low as 3%. So when you speak to local people, they will usually have a regional accent or dialect that you probably won't have had any or much exposure to previously. Slang. Slang terms are common in the UK and they vary by region. So the type of slang you will hear depends on the part of the UK you move to. For example, in Northern England, where I'm from, butty is a common slang term for a sandwich. Phrasal verbs and idioms are also used a lot in spoken English. What's a phrasal verb? This is a verb made of 2 parts which have a particular meaning. For example, turn on. which means to activate a device or machine. Turn on the light. Phrasal verbs are often the most natural way to say something. There are alternatives, but they can sound strange or formal. We wouldn't say activate the TV. We use the phrasal verb turn on the TV instead. What's an idiom? An idiom is a fixed phrase that has a special meaning. There are thousands of idioms in English. Here are a couple of common ones. A piece of cake, which is something very easy to do. Using social media is a piece of cake. Over the moon. This means very happy. I was over the moon when I passed the exam. This is a lot of information, and don't worry if it's overwhelming. It can be useful to pay attention to these things when you interact with local people, but it takes time to familiarise yourself with these things, and it's a process. If you found this video useful, subscribe to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you next time.